no website project should take 3 to 6 months. If you're talking with a company that can't do start to finish your website in 8 to 10 weeks, then they're a company that's not up to the job. Welcome to the We Are Slam Show, where we share insights, ideas, and best practices to help your business or brand grow. My name is Tyler Kelly. I'm here with my co-host, Michael T. Johnson. And today we are revealing the top 5 things that you need to look out for before you spend money building or redesigning your website.
If you're looking to have a website designed, developed, there's a couple things you want to look out for. And we've learned firsthand from experiences of people we know that have had a bad experience with a web design. So first off, you got to realize that your website sometimes is your lifeline to sales and revenue. And if you hire the wrong person and they don't understand that, they can actually break your main thing for generating revenue. So we've heard horror stories from our own clients about their bad experiences in trying to develop websites in the past. So we have a client that we help on the storytelling side, and they had a website, basic website, did everything they really needed it to do, but they met somebody, one of those friend of a friend kind of deals where they were going to trade this for helping them improve their website. They made a lot of promises, said they could do it. A couple months later, they have a broken website that's not generating leads, and they've lost revenue because they can't drive the sales they used to drive on their inferior website before that web designer got a hold of it.
And I think when he asked her about it, after it was broken, she was like,
she couldn't fix it.
She couldn't fix it. It was just like she was in over her head. Sometimes people know all the right things to say, but they don't know how to execute.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a company that we're working with right now to reshape their online story with web and digital. And they spent, and this is a small home services company. This isn't a big, multinational brand or medium-sized business. This is a local home services company that spent upwards of $40,000 on multiple variations, multiple versions of their website. And when they came to us, their website looked like something out of 1998. It was that bad. And just our jaws dropped because we were like, you spent how much over the last several years on website development and it looks like this? So yeah, today's video is important if you're looking to build a website for your brand, if it's the first time, or if you're looking to redesign a website for your company, this is the video for you.
Right, and you want to do it the first time because from those stories, if you try to save money, you're going to end up paying for it 2 or 3 times just to fix the problems from trying to save money the first time. So there's 5 things you need to look out for. And the first one is you can just look at their website. Does the company or person you're wanting to hire actually have a website? Does it work? Does it function the way it's supposed to? Is anything broken? Someone's own website is pretty good evidence of whether they can do the job.
Yeah, think about, does that website do, and this is super low, the bar's really low at the look at their website, because at first you just want to make sure that it works in all the places where it should work, like mobile phones, tablets, desktop, and that it does the things that a regular website from this year should be doing. If it looks like something that is 5 or 10 years old and hasn't been updated, why in the world would you expect them to build something that looks like it's from this era, right? So number 1, look at their website.
So the next point, number 2, is you get what you pay for. Now, we kind of talked about this. You don't want to pay for something more than wants to fix issues.
And the question that you need to ask is, what are you really paying for? So in today's day and age, with CMSs like WordPress, and with the builders out there like Squarespace and Kajabi, and templates and themes that exist on the marketplace, are you really paying for web design and development anymore? I would argue not necessarily. Like most acceptable, good website frameworks have already been created, and the process of creating a website or designing a website is not really about how that's put together or coded, because there's already an acceptable pattern and way of doing that. But it's more about how does the information that I put on the page communicate and convey my brand position, my messaging in order to accomplish the goals that I want my website to accomplish? So what are you paying for?
And really what you want to pay for is that expertise apart from just the bare bones building of the site. Like you said, we have all those things. So we've seen a couple extremes in this. So for one, there's this idea maybe in the past of like this pixel perfect, beautifully designed website. And those things have their places, but for most businesses, it doesn't make any sense. So case in point, I will put ourselves in the hot seat. We built ourselves one of these websites once. We spent a lot of time on it. It was really beautiful. It did all this really cool parallax stuff. It was like a piece of art. It was going to win awards. And we had it up for what, maybe a week? And we were like, this doesn't make any sense. Nobody knows how to use it. It's not going to generate sales for us. It basically just existed for ourselves to pat ourselves on the back for creating something that looked really cool.
The ad world would have loved it had we left it up long enough for them to see it. But we decided that driving sales via the website was more important than winning awards.
Right. What are you going after? Now, there's the other end of that where you have like very smart, talented people that can custom code stuff that like your average web designer won't even understand. And those people can be very expensive and they can create some really cool things. But that also doesn't have a place for most of us. I would say 99% of us. You'll spend a lot of money on something that potentially could be lacking in design, and also it's just way overkill for your technical needs for your business.
Yeah, for the most part, there's a third-party app, a plugin. There's something out there that already does what you need it to do as a small or medium-sized business. If you do have a six-figure website budget and you want to create something completely from scratch, that's when it's time to look at custom development and custom coding. But for most of the people tuning into this video right now, you're not in that place and you don't need to be, so you don't need to be seeking out developers of that caliber. So essentially you have like super great design with no coding ability, no user experience ability. Then you have like super coder user experience, but no design. And then maybe if you're like, well, what we should do is just meet in the middle. If you have an agency or a company or a firm or somebody working out of their home that is a great designer and a great developer, that still might not be what you're looking for, because what you need is somebody or an organization that can frame your marketing message in a way that drives results. And that's through design, that's through user experience, and it's through copywriting and information architecture.
Right. And that's exactly what brings us to our third point, which is, do they understand marketing and sales? So a lot of people that build websites are marketers, and they don't really understand the sales process or the real world bits and pieces to how you actually make money and drive revenue for your business.
Yeah, we've talked a lot in recent episodes about marketing and sales alignment. I think that, in a previous world, marketing and sales were siloed. But today, in order for things to happen at the speed at which we need them to happen, you need to align your marketing and sales departments. And what that means is if you're going to create a marketing piece, i.e. a website, it needs to accomplish sales goals. You need to have make a sales case for the website. And so the teams have to get together. You have to hire an agency or a firm or a consultant that understands marketing and sales in order to bring those two worlds together into a piece of collateral, into an interactive experience that drives sales.
So fourth question you need to ask, does the agency, the company, the person you're working with, do they offer a turnkey solution? So when you think about a website, that may seem like one thing, but it's a lot of things. It's hosting, it's information architecture, it's copywriting, it's design. It can be video, strategy. I mean, the list is pretty long of all the things you need for a website that does exactly what you need to drive sales, drive revenue, and function for all your marketing purposes.
Yeah, I mean, you need to figure out, do they understand my business, and can that understanding translate to the web? And like Michael said, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. We mentioned design and coding and user experience and SEO and all that stuff. But then there's all the technical, like there's security and, how, the weight of a page for SEO. There's all these other factors that go into play. And if you're just hiring somebody that knows how to put up WordPress pages, then they might not know how to do copywriting or to create a page that drives the results that you want to drive.
Yeah. And our final question you need to ask is, what is the timeline for your website?
This is a big one. If you send out an RFP and you're looking at the responses, I can almost guarantee you, depending on, let's just say your budget is 20 to 40,000. I can almost guarantee you that the proposals that you're getting back are going to say that the website project with some aspect of branding and information architecture and copy and search engine optimization, and then like the entire project, I can guarantee you they're saying 3 to 6 months. And the fact is, no website project should take 3 to 6 months in this day and age. If you're in that $20,000 to $40,000 range, the timeline that you need to expect is 8 to 10 weeks. If you're talking with a company that can't do start to finish your website in 8 to 10 weeks, then they're a company that's not up to the job.
Yeah. Now, I could understand a company that has a waiting list. If that company's that good, I would assume they'd have a waiting list probably for getting in, but the job itself shouldn't take that long.
Yeah, the fact is it only takes about 8 to 10 weeks to do all the things that we just mentioned. Now, they could say it takes 8 to 10 weeks, but it's going to take 3 months before we get started. That's acceptable. But if the proposal says 3 to 6 months, then there's a lot of time in there that nothing is happening, and that's something you should look out for.
So we want to hear from you. Have you had any of the experiences we've talked about? Does any of that sound familiar to you? Have you had a bad experience with a website? We would love to hear about it, and possibly you can share and help somebody avoid that type of situation or that type of bad experience. Also, if you thought this was helpful, we're going to give you an even longer checklist that you can download that will help you pick a company, an agency, a person that will build your website. We're going to give you all this and more in a checklist of things to think about on our website.
Thank you for tuning in. Like Michael said, if you have a horror story, a web development design horror story, leave it in the comments. We can't wait to hear it. Hit us up on social at WeAreSlam. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you just watched, subscribe, then hit that bell. You'll be the first to be notified when new content goes live. After that, you can watch more videos from Slam Agency. We've picked something we think you'll love.